Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Winning with Wellness Wednesday. My name is Chalesea Maccow. I'm from the beautiful island of St. Martin. So thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful sunny day in St. Martin. Hopefully, it's a wonderful weather in your area as well. I always start out with our foundational scripture that comes out of Genesis 1:29. And then God said, I will give you every seed bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, with every tree that has fruit with seed in it, and they'll be yours for food. So, like I always say, this is God's original plan for us to eat fruits and vegetables that will have contain seeds so that we could our bodies will function in the way that was created to function. The wellness tip of the day is to drink water. Can everyone see me? Just put on, forgot my camera. All right, so the wellness tip for today is to drink more water. So how many of you had your water for the morning already?
Brenda Ritchie, Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm drinking
Great,
water
I'm doing
now.
better.
great, great, great.
I have mine. I carry a 40-ounce cup every day and sip on it twice throughout the day. I fill it up twice to sip on all throughout the day.
Great. And there's so many benefits of just drinking water. And usually some people don't like drinking water. So, for example, my mother didn't like it before, but now she drinks plain water. But if you have the cran aloe, you could add some of the cran aloe to it. And if there's anyone who is new here and don't know what cran aloe is and don't have it, definitely connect with a person that uh, invited you and ask them about the cran aloe. So the cran aloe is a wonderful supplement that you can add to the water to help you become more consistent with drinking water. It's a really nice combination of cranberries and aloe vera, and it gives you a nice refreshing drink for those of you who do not like drinking water. The benefits of drinking water. So even if you don't have it as yet, you can add a little bit of Himalayan salt to it, and that will also that gives you the electrolytes your body needs. So your body needs some electrolytes. So drinking water basically helps flush out your system. That's a key part of detoxing your body naturally. Flushes out your system, helps your body absorbs the nutrients better, cleans out your kidneys, your liver, your lymph system a little better. Helps reduce bloating and water retention, and keeps your energy up and your mood balance. So you definitely want to make sure you started your day with your water. So the first thing you should be doing, number one, of course, you're doing your devotion, your prayer time, drinking some water, and getting some sunlight. Those are key things you should start your day with. All right, so the disclaimer, for those of you who are new, we always make sure that you understand that these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We always suggest that you see your certified nutritionist or your physician to before starting any type of products, as well if you're taking medication or even starting any type of program. So the topic for today is Menopause Uncovered, understanding the transition and thriving naturally. So the whole goal is to help women navigate menopause with confidence, through education, through healthy life choices, and a nutritional support. And this topic literally kind of dropped in my lap because this weekend my mom and I went to a tea party, and one of the women's tea party, and one of the topic, there were men there as well, but it was mainly for women. And the topic there on that day was menopause. They did a whole skit and everything. And as they were having this discussion about menopause, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm not sure if I even been through this yet or even started. I'm not. They were asking questions and I didn't know the answer. And I was looking at my mom and she's looking at me. And I know my mom has not gone through menopause because after giving birth to me, she had her womb removed. And I learned at that time at the event that if you have your womb removed, of course, you're not going to experience the symptoms of menopause. So she did not experience it. So, and one of the things that came up in that at that event during that discussion is that a lot of us, especially here in the Caribbean, there's not a lot of discussion about menopause. You just find out about it when you're going through it, especially here in the Caribbean. Anyone else in the Caribbean experience that? Your parents told you about it? Because my mom didn't tell me about it because she didn't experience it, so she couldn't tell me anything about it. And my grandmother definitely didn't tell me. So were you taught about menopause? The one person, President Lisa?
I wasn't taught about it so much. I remember my mom saying from time to time that she was going through it because she would be, trying to manage the symptoms. So all of a sudden she may have a hot flash and, may need to go find a fan and things of that nature. So just by listening to her expressing her discontent with the symptoms, that's how I
Yeah.
became familiar because I would say, Mom, why are you so hot? And I'm going through the change, child. I'm going through the change, And so that's how I learned about it. But I went through the same experience as your mom did. I had a partial hysterectomy in my early 40s. And initially, my doctor told me that because of my vegetarian diet, he anticipated that my menopausal symptoms would be minimal. But once I had the hysterectomy, I kept saying, okay, I had one symptom that I thought was attached to menopause, but none of the hot flashes and the night sweats and all that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, I forgot because I had that surgery. If you either don't have symptoms or they're very, very minimal. And I was like, okay, but we all still need to learn about it because everybody is different. I have friends that haven't had many symptoms, and I have some who, even when we travel, she has to bring several different shirts because she sweats so bad that she has to change outfits. Just sometimes we'll be at a restaurant just sitting down, and all of a sudden she'll have an episode and have to go change her clothes. So, yes, definitely, we need to learn more about menopause for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Platinum Dr. Charlie, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I just want to chime in. I had a complete hysterectomy at age 30, and but I still had the hot flashes, and only thing I had was hot flashes and night sweats.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still have, even if you have, you can still have the hot flashes and night sweats. And I had hot flashes for a long time. I was an artist and still having hot flashes because we used to have oh, I almost called the name of it. That was the best thing ever for the hot flashes.
Nature's Remedy.
Nature's Remedy.
And no call. It was two.
Nature's Remedy. That's the one that was a capsule.
What about the feminine ladies? Didn't the feminine work?
I remember. I think it was Nature's Remedy.
We had
Yeah, that was the first one. The Nature's Remedy was the first
no.
That
one.
was
The first one was called No Call.
no. It wasn't no. Was it no call?
Yes,
I still got a
it was
picture.
Nature's Remedy came after the No Call, and then the feminine.
But I guess you probably using the Nature's Remedy.
But the Nature's Remedy worked. We had three: No Call, Nature's Remedy, and then feminine.
It might. I'm thinking, baby. When I tell you, I sold a lot of that product. I would see we'd be at choir rehearsal. I'd look up there and see them women sweating. I'd share my testimony with them. I had one lady. She told me. She said, "I got 3 pills left." She said, "I can't run out." So,
Yeah.
yeah, they worked for those.
Yeah, everyone's different. So thank you, Platinum Dr. Charlie. Everyone's different. Thank you, President Lisa. I think President Brenda had her hand up. Did you still have a comment?
Yes, good morning, everyone. As I'm Brenda Ritchie from Atlanta. I experienced night sweats, waking up in my middle of the night and waking up in the morning, my gown is totally soaked. And at first, I didn't realize what was going on when I went to the doctor, and she explained to me, "You're going through menopause." But a lot of the hot flashes, I didn't have a whole lot of hot flashes, but I did experience the night sweats and waking up and my gown is totally wet. But thank God I answered my question. I'm post menopause. I'm past all that now. So if I'm experiencing having symptoms I'm not aware of right now. But thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much for sharing, President Brenda. So I came up with this, asked this question. I have a poll in the chat. So if those of you who joined us, thank you so much for joining me. Roy Platinum, Dr. Anastasia, President Bathenia, and Platinum Kenya, thank you for joining. President Cupid, Pastor Cupid, thank you for joining. And I see someone else, President Camille, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Hopefully I didn't miss, oh, sorry. President Lisa and President Patrice, thank you so much for joining me this morning. So in the chat, I posted a poll question, and it's basically says which best describes you. As all the ladies that's on here, if you could take that poll question, and at the end of the presentation, I'll look at the results because I don't want to disrupt the presentation at this point. But if it says I'm not in menopause as yet, I think I'm pre-menopause, I've reached menopause, I'm post-menopausal, I have no idea. And before I started out this research for this while I was at this event, like I said, on this weekend, I really had no idea. I was looking at mom. I was like, I don't feel like I've experienced any of these things these ladies were talking about. So I was just sitting there clueless because I had no idea. But once I started doing this research for this presentation, I kind of know where I'm at, and I'll explain later on at the end of the presentation. So some of you already mentioned what is one of the changes you've noticed in your body over the past few years. You guys had mentioned having the hot flashes. I see that is common among most of us, most of you that spoke earlier, having the hot flashes. If there are any other changes that you guys have noticed over the past years, if you are perimenopause, menopausal, or postmenopausal, any changes you've noticed in your body?
Only
No?
change I
Okay.
noticed, I just gained the extra pounds, but I'm working it off.
Good.
Let's put a little humor
So
into it. That's the only really change. But I
yeah,
do
so
have
everyone
headaches
is different.
sometimes.
Okay. So we're gonna go through some of these symptoms that again and it's different from for everyone. But the most common one is of course the hot flashes. And what I've learned, actually, the hot flashes called the doctor said is hot flushes. That's what's the actual word for it. So we'll talk about that in a few. So what is menopause? Menopause is basically a natural transition, not a disease. Menopause is a natural, a permanent end of the menstrual cycle. So those of you who did not like your menstrual cycle, I know when I grew up, and even with the menstrual cycle, I just learned from that by just it happening. And I'm like, okay, mom, what is this? She didn't even tell me that. So in the islands, unfortunately, we don't talk about the menstrual cycle until it happens in the kid. And also with menopause, the same thing. I don't know why we do that here in the Caribbean, but that's what we do. And unfortunately, these are some discussions that we should have with our teenagers, or even before that. They're getting in the menstrual cycle earlier now. So with your young ladies, you definitely want to have to talk with them about the menstrual cycle, and even at that time, talk to them about the menopause as well. They may not understand it completely, but have that discussion. Have that discussion with your young adults as well. So those are things that we as Caribbean people have to be better at having these discussions, because we shouldn't just have our young people or young ladies just blindly going through these things and not understanding what's happening in their bodies. Um, Menopause basically is confirmed once a woman has gone 12 consecutive months without a period. So if you've gone a whole year without a period, you're most likely in menopause. And also it marks the end of reproductive years. So basically your ovaries gradually produces less estrogen and progesterone. So how many of you thought this happened overnight? Do you see it have just like all of a sudden it just happened? For us who did not were not taught about this, it felt like it happened overnight. You like all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is just these symptoms are happening. It's like, okay, this just suddenly happened. However, it's occurring through your lifetime and you don't even realize it, especially if you weren't taught about it. So the three stages, and most of you have talked about it earlier. You have the pre-menopause. That's basically where you have your hormone is fluctuating. You have irregular periods. Your symptoms begin. That's when the symptoms are really beginning. And this could actually last for 4 to 10 years. You could be 10 years in pre-menopause, a very long time. Menopause, that's basically when you do not have your period for 12 months, 12 consecutive months, and basically your estrogen levels have declined. And post-menopause, that's I believe someone mentioned that they're in that at this time. That begins 1 year after the final period and continues for life. There's low or unstable stable hormones. Your focus shifts towards protecting your bones, your heart, and your brain health, and also muscle strength. So basically, every woman is going to go through this. All of us going to go through it, just like all women went through the menstrual cycle. All of us going to go through menopause. It's just that it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different, go through different symptoms and occur at different times. So menopause basically begins like the premenopause starts between 30s and 40s. Then you have the perimenopause at between 40 and 47, menopause around 51, and postmenopause after 51. And premenopause, like I said, could last for over a decade. So most of us could be, if you might be in menopause. I'm in my early 50s, so I may be in perimenopause. That I am in perimenopause. And the first time I heard about perimenopause is when I forgot we were in Las Vegas. I don't know if you remembered Platinum Dr. Charlie, and we were doing the presentation, and I think it was Platinum, I can't remember her name. Diamond President, oh goodness. Victoria, she's like, I think you're in perimenopause. And I looked at her straight. She's like, what is that? And I didn't want to feel stupid, actually, like, what is that? But I was like, I don't know. I think we had that whole discussion at that time when I was doing the presentation. That's the first time I actually heard about perimenopause. So having that, going to the event on Sunday and having that have that presentation given to us, that really opened up my eyes. I'm like, okay, maybe I am in perimenopause because I really didn't know, and I'll explain why at the end. So the common symptoms that most of you actually talked about was the hot flashes, or they're actually called hot flushes. And hot flushes occurs during the day. And the night sweats occurs at night. So this is usually the most common symptom among all women going through these stages. You have your sleep disruption, so trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, brain fog or mood shifts, difficulty concentrating, you're being irritable or anxious. So those are some of the symptoms you may will experience or may experience. Your heart and your bone changes, so you basically lose a lot. You lose your bone density, and you are more likely to be at risk for cardiovascular issues. So those are the things that you have to monitor and look at and pay attention to. Then you have vaginal or urinary changes. You have the dryness, discomfort, more frequent urinary tract infections, low libido. Next, you have the metabolic shifts, your weight gain. President Brenda spoke about that, and especially around the midsection. So those are things that we as women, unfortunately, we experience when you're having going through the stages of menopause. So which one of these surprised you? And why do you think it's less talked about? And most of the one that's people, and actually at the discussion, one of the ladies that was doing the skit, the part about libido, people were very quiet when that topic came up. And for the gentleman that's on here, they wanted the lady was explaining that they wanted her husband to understand. She just doesn't feel it because of what she was going through. So, and that's something that people are surprised about. I was surprised about that. I don't know if anyone else on this call is surprised about that part. Everyone's quiet because we don't want to talk about that part. That's okay. I'm going to move on. So why do these symptoms happen? Mainly because our body, our hormones influence every single system in the body. So especially estrogen. I see a hand up. I'm not sure. President Elisa, go ahead.
Yes, I was going to speak on the low or no libido issue. I actually saw a video on, I think it was YouTube, but I hope I saved it. But it actually shows a couple and the husband going around the house trying to make the house menopause friendly. So as his wife is sitting, and it's a comedy, of course, his wife is sitting on the sofa with a fan, a hand fan, and also two or three fans that are plugged up, positioned around her in the living room. And then as they go to bed, you'll see one side of the bed with the covers down, and then the other side with them up because she goes from hot to cold, hot to cold. And then it just shows him like looking distressed and distraught, but also having that wanting to please her, wanting to make sure she's comfortable during this time of her life. So I'm going to see if I can find it and post it. It's very funny, but I think this speaks to a lot of couples. And I know the libido thing, people are like, after a certain age, it's about companionship because menopause doesn't let the sexual thing happen a lot. I was like, oh my, okay. So, but yeah, I'll see if I can find that so I can share it, that video.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so the presenter at the event was talking about that. You said most of the times when women are going through menopause, that basically affects their relationships as well. So this is also does not only affect us women, but it's affecting your husbands. So that's something that they have to be how to say educated on as well. So as men, it's not just about for the men that's here, it's also for your husbands. Educating the men about menopause so that they know what is going on with their wives. So, like I said, hormones influence nearly every system in the body, especially estrogen. So, lower estrogen will affect your brain, your bones, your body temperature, your mood, your heart, your muscles, your sleep, and your metabolism. So, that's basically, like I said, and during the time of menopause, you're losing your eggs. As you lose your eggs, when we're born, born with a certain number of eggs as females, and that's set. As we go through life, we start losing those eggs as we go through the cycle. And when we get to a certain point, during the time of menopause, we're no longer producing eggs there because of and therefore there's lower estrogen in our bodies. So therefore, we have all these symptoms that will be affecting these different areas. So a couple of stats, I always give a couple of stats. Basically, most women around the age of 51 experience menopause in the United States. About 1.3 million women reach the menopause every year, and the average for age is around 49 for Black and Hispanic women. And it's noticed that usually that for Black and Hispanic women, even Caribbean women, and we are getting menopause earlier. Don't know exactly why, but we're getting menopause earlier. Maybe because of the region, it may be because of our genes, but we're getting the menopause earlier. Uh, the average age in the Caribbean is about 48.6, and about 150 to 160,000 women reach menopause every year in the Caribbean. This number is combined with the Caribbean and Latin America because they put the data together. So women experience it differently, and there are a couple of reasons for that. Number one is aging. There's a natural aging. The causes of menopause is a natural aging process. So, like as I mentioned earlier, the primary cause of ovarian cause is ovarian egg supply and hormone production decline over time within age. So as we get older, that number of eggs and estrogen level starts to decline. It may be surgical. I mentioned, for example, surgical menopause. The removal of ovaries will cause immediate surgically induced menopause. Medical treatments could cause menopause. Chemotherapy, radiation, certain medications can damage the ovary, therefore causing menopause as well. Primary ovarian insufficiency, that's basically when your ovaries stop working normally before age 40. That's basically, and this affects women, about 1% of the women. So it's not a common thing, but that's something to think about as well. And I just mentioned genetics and family history. The age your mother or your sisters reach menopause will be a strong predictor of yours as well. So if they got menopause at an early age, it's most likely that you may as well. And other lifestyle factors, smoking is linked to menopause occurring roughly 2 years earlier on average. So how can we basically deal with this naturally? Move daily, doing regular exercise, okay? The helps protect your bone density. So basically these natural solutions is how to deal and manage the symptoms. You can't do nothing about a menopause, you're gonna get it. Sometime in your life, you're gonna get it, whether it may be severe or maybe light, but you will experience menopause, okay? But you can deal with the symptoms of it and manage it properly and naturally, such as moving daily, protecting your sleep, trying to take some natural supplements that help with your sleep, closing, getting air conditioning in your room, a lot of fans to help deal with the night sweats. Those are things that you could do to get and protect your sleep. Then you have managed stress, do mindful activities, breath work, get some support that helps lower the cortisol. So if you're always stressed out, your cortisol level is going to be high. So you want to help manage your stress levels. Diet, of course, eating whole foods such as vegetables, high fiber foods, lean protein, calcium rich foods, foods like leafy greens, not only calcium rich, but magnesium rich foods that helps with, also will help you with sleep as well. Moderate triggers such as reducing caffeine, alcohol, spicy foods, these could all cause hot flashes for many women. And of course, avoiding smoking, which also can cause the early onset of menopause or reduce symptoms severity, can delay the symptoms. So while I'm doing this presentation, I want you to think, if you are going through any of these stages, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, which one are you committed to? I know most of us on here are artistpreneurs. I'm not sure if we have any guest person on here. If we do, just drop a one. But if you are a guest and which one would you start with? What are you committed to start with? Just raise your hand, put it in the chat what you're committed to start, whether it's exercising. If you're a smoker, that's one reason to cut back from smoking. It will help that and limit, delay you getting that, not getting it, but delay the time that you get it. Because as you smoke, you actually you get it earlier. Okay, so think about things that you can do to help deal with the symptoms naturally. Also, nutrients. One of the things, nutrients is a big, I always talk about this every single time, but especially through menopause. If you're nutrient deficient, your symptoms will most likely be more severe because you're nutrient deficient. So you want to make sure that you're incorporating nutrients such as vitamin B12, calcium, and vitamin D, as well as magnesium that helps with the sleep and the mood as well. Omegas, phytoestrogens such as flax and soy also help with gently supporting your hormones. So you want to make sure you incorporate these different supplements in your diet. Also incorporate adaptogens. Adaptogens help for balance. They help with the mood. I talked about adaptogens before. Adaptogens helps balance the hormones. So it's just like, for example, it acts like a thermostat. You know, if you, a thermostat, you set it at a certain temperature, and if it gets too warm in that room, the thermostat turns on so that it cools down the temperature in the room. Same thing these adaptogens do. It helps balance the hormones and keep everything at a homeostasis. So we have two adaptogens that's very common. We have ashwagandha, and that's basically an herbal adaptogen which used to balance and manage stress. It eases mental fatigue and also promotes restful sleep. Then we have mushrooms such as reishi mushrooms and cordyceps, also supports immune resilience and provides energy during hormonal transition. At Artist Life, we have certain nutritional supplements that contain these adaptogens. We have our wonderful 7-in-1 coffee, which I know most of us love on this call. The 7-in-1 coffee, not only that will provide you the mushrooms, the adaptogens to help with your mood and give you the energy, but it also helps with libido. So if you have an issue with that, you want to drink some more of this coffee, and tell your husband to get this coffee for you if you're dealing with that libido issue. So that is a wonderful supplement coffee to drink every single day. Then we have the memory fusion. The memory fusion also have the mushrooms as well as ashwagandha. So it helps with brain fog, anxiety, helps your mood as well. So that's something that you could take. And of course, my favorite, the Shanti Balance, has ashwagandha and lots of vitamin B12 that helps with the mood. So our product of today, of course, is my favorite, the Shanti Balance, which contains ashwagandha, vitamin B12, guarana, and Garcinia cambogia, and also will provide the natural support your mind and your body needs to balance out the hormones. So the key benefits of Shanti Balance basically helps with stress relief. So you want to make sure, like I said, that's one of the key things that symptoms that affects your the process as you go through the menopause. It balances your nervous system and reduces mental fatigue. It also helps with mental clarity. It helps you focus better and helps with brain fog, sustain energy. The guarana and the vitamin B12 also helps with focus and vitality. And the Garcinia cambogia provides with support appetite control, and energy metabolism. So if you have the way you find yourself, you're eating a lot, you're getting all these cravings, the Garcinia kombucha helps with that, and also helps. You will notice that you will be burning fat as well. So you this is a great product for you to take if you're trying to lose weight during this time. How you take it, I find it works best if you put it in a stick, the packet, just add it to some fresh hot water or even some lukewarm water, but it dissolves better for me, I think, with the hot water. And take it 1 to 3 times a day. I normally when I take it at night, but you could take it throughout the day. So it makes it, especially if you're hot, make a nice cool drink with it. And I believe I'm posting a nice recipe in the chat that you could use for this time of the year, the summertime. So how does Shanti Balance help? It helps with your mood swings. It helps if you're tired and low energy during this time. Mental fog. Your metabolism is slowed down. Therefore, it will help with that belly fat. Okay, it helps curb your appetite so that you're not eating a lot, but also help burn fat. Now, come back to my question. I said earlier that I thought, and when I did why I wasn't sure which part I'm at in which stage I'm at is for in menopause. And the reason why I wasn't sure is because I unfortunately still have fibroids. And because of that, I didn't have those symptoms that people were talking about on Sunday. I didn't have the hot flashes. I mean, it's hot in St. Martin, so I'm always hot. So I didn't realize that may have been a symptom. Um, the cravings that could have been due to fibroids. What it is was another thing. Going to the bathroom a lot, all those things, those are things that the fibroids actually cause as well. So I wasn't sure. So here it says the question I have for you guys. That's why I wasn't sure where I was. But here I have a question for you guys. It says menopause causes fibroids to disappear completely. If you're losing the eggs, do you think menopause, well, based on what I just said, do you think it causes it to remove fibroids completely? Is this true or false? Excuse me.
False. I would think
False.
it's false.
Yep, correct. It's false because I just said it as well. And most women think that, okay, if I'm going through menopause, it's going to reduce it. But fibroids basically shrink after menopause because it shrinks a little bit, but it doesn't eliminate it. It doesn't disappear entirely. So it shrinks a little bit after menopause because the hormone levels have decreased. But some women can still have the symptoms, such as myself. I wasn't sure whether the symptoms I was having was from the fibroids or the menopause. So that's why this discussion is very important for especially women who may be going through perimenopause like myself and have fibroids at the same time. And so it's difficult to identify which one is causing the symptoms. So this is a great discussion for those women as well. Of course, I always leave you guys with a wonderful combo that you could share. If you are new on this platform, please connect with the person that invited you and ask them about this combo. This combo basically has all the nutritional supplements that contains the vitamins that I mentioned earlier, as well as the adaptogens that I mentioned earlier that will help with the symptoms that you're going. Yeah, this is not a cure. You're going to go through menopause. Just bottom line, we are going to go through menopause. These will just help with the symptoms, whether it's the night flashes, the night sweats, I'm sorry, the hot flushes, the low libido, vitamin deficiencies that you may have. Those are things like the core calcium. If you're unable to sleep, the core calcium has the magnesium that you need to help you with the sleep. It also has calcium to help your bones. The cran aloe actually has the cranberry and the aloe that helps with urinary infections. We have our Lviv Essentials that has all of the antioxidants and the vitamins that your body needs to make sure that you're not vitamin deficient. Of course, we always suggest that you do an ultra body cleanse to detox your system before taking any type of products. Then we have the coffee that helps with give you that energy from the mushrooms as well as that vitality and increase your libido. So you won't have it low anymore. It will actually increase. It may increase taking the coffee. And omega 369 give you the fatty acid your body needs. Memory fusion helps you with your brain fog and clarity. The Shanti balance I just spoke about, as well as the Lviv Slim that helps you to lose weight if you have dealing with that belly fat, because it also has Garcinia cambogia in it.